as I go riding merrily.
The reality of running an art business.
No! God, please, no!
An art business. Hi everyone, it's Mocha, and yes, I am in my pajamas. It is currently 7 p.m, but I wanted to jump on here because I was having a discussion over on TikTok in regards to the easiness of running a business or the easiness of doing art. And I really wanted to make a video about it while it's fresh in my mind, and yeah, I'm still in my pajamas, so consider this a pajama party. Now, this ascertains primarily to small art businesses, so if I say small business or an artist, I am referring to people like myself who do a small business based around their art, whether that being a potter or you make mug rugs or you do acrylic charms or anime merch, animal ears, anything like that. If you make art and you sell it, that is your business. That's who I'm talking about in this video. Because quite often online, I see this idea that art is easy and that running your own small business is easy or an ideal way of life. Don't get me wrong, when I was younger, I definitely fell for this. I saw people who had these really aesthetic day vlogs and who had these wonderful, beautiful videos about what their life was like and the things that they were able to do and how they could travel and they could go work at a cafe and all of that. And I fell for it. I thought, oh my god, this is great. That's what I want to do. Now, I have been doing commissions for many, many years. So I'm quite experienced in the back end of selling products and dealing with customers and making money from my art. So I became very disillusioned from this idea of it being like a super aesthetic, really easygoing thing a long time ago. But it's honestly something that I really love, and I'll get more in depth about that later on. But I see a lot of people who fall for these vlogs and for these artists. Now, there's nothing wrong with artists who make these videos. I make those sorts of videos. I love them. But I think it's important as an audience to understand that it's social media. They're not showing you the rough side of running a business. Personally, I really get irritated with people who say that art is easy. It's not. I think a lot of people have this perception that all you need to do to run your own art business is the talent or the skill to produce art. And that simply is not true. In 2025, a lot of people's ability to run their own business and that be their full-time gig is social media. They need to be able to have a platform by which they can advertise their products. When you're a small business, you don't have an advertising budget. You don't have money to put your art on a billboard or on the side of a bus. You kind of just have to, make do with what you have. And oftentimes that means having a social media platform that you share your art and your journey on. And due to the nature of social media, that means having these really aesthetic videos that kind of show the highlights of your life and your job. And this means that a lot of people fall into this idea that art is really easy and you just need the talent, like you can sell anything so long as you've got like this really cool drawing. But the reality is it's so much hard work. Now I'm going to be talking about my experience. I am a one-man show. Queen Mockabun, my business, is run by me, hi, hello, and me, myself, and I. It's entirely me. And this extends not only from the art, designing, prototyping, but production as well. For a long time, I did solely digital commissions, and then I delved into badges. So a lot of my work was just sitting at the computer and producing art. But I wanted to move away from that, or at least still continue to do that, but also do other things such as selling products. And that meant all of the logistics of selling products, figuring out what I wanted to sell, how I was going to do it, was I going to get it manufactured, all of that fell on me. Now, for some people, they get things manufactured, so there's not so much worry about in terms of production. But for a lot of artists, let's say you're a potter or you make something like animal ears, all of your stock is handmade. And that's the case for myself. All of my charms, stickers, mug rugs, glasses, badges, all of them are made by me. So yes, in a way it's self-inflicted, but there's various reasons as to why someone might opt to make things at home. Primary reason being cost. It's pretty expensive to get things manufactured, and if you're like me and you can't guarantee that those things are going to sell, forking out $200 to $300 Australian dollars on a set of products that you may just end up holding on to just isn't viable. It's much cheaper to make and produce things at home, and then you can control your stock levels and you can actually see what sells without having to commit to a large minimum order quantity. So yes, it is self-inflicted in that for some people they view it as like a very clear choice, and yes, you could always opt to manufacture and just deal with the downsides of it, but for me everything is handmade by me and these grubby little cut up hands. So today I had a very busy day. I had to run a couple of errands and I had to go pick up some stuff for my upcoming convention. I also had to work on products and packaging.
Go, Kylie, go. Good job, Kylie. You're doing amazing, sweetie. Wow, look at her go.
Just packaging alone, I believe that I did about 40 phone charms, and I believe that took me about 2 to 3 hours. Now, I'll concede, this sort of work isn't hard work, but that is 2 to 3 hours of sitting on the floor like I am now. So it's not a lot of hard work to do, and individually it's not a lot of work. It takes like 2 minutes to do one. But all of the backing cards are also handmade by me, so I have to print them, gotta put them through the Cricut, and then I have to cut this little slit on the top. But when you have 40 of these to do, suddenly that work adds up, and I'm the only one there to do it. No one else can do it for me because Queen Mocha Bun is just me. And that's the sort of thing that you don't see on social media. You don't see how many hours I sit at my computer just updating my artwork onto my website. You don't see the hours that people spend preparing for a shop update. You don't see the artists just individually packaging hundreds
Go, Kylie, go.
of products for their next event. Because it's not aesthetic, it's not pretty, unless you can put it in kind of like a funny way, or
Go, Kylie, go.
mix it into a vlog.
Go, Kylie, go.
It's not content that's really sellable. And it goes back to this idea of marketing. If you want to run your own business, you need to have marketing. And to market it, it's got to be marketable. And frankly, that sort of menial, boring labor isn't marketable to people. And as such, you end up in the same situation where people just think it's easy because they don't see the hard work and kind of boring stuff behind the scenes. Now, I've spoken about this previously. I am autistic, so I actually kind of thrive in terms of doing menial labor, such as just putting things away. My first full-time job, which was straight out of high school, was looking after the posts in a military antique shop. My job was to literally package medals. Quite often people would buy the 3 most common Australian medals from World War I. It would literally just be going up to the shelves, picking them out, putting them in the bag, sealing the bag, writing the address. And then at the end of the day, I would take all of the badges and all of the bags and I would ship them off through Australia Post. And I really thrived in that environment because that kind of menial labor is something that I'm able to just kind of zone out and do. But a lot of people hate it, and I can understand why. I didn't stay in that job because eventually I became so quick that I would finish, 100, 150 orders in about 2-3 hours. And then I would have no more work and it would drive me insane sitting there for an extra 5-6 hours. Also, side note, the sun is beginning to set, so I do apologize if there is a dip in lighting or a change in lighting. Unfortunately, the sun decided it just wanted to leave me. I can understand why people don't like the menial labor. It can be extremely boring, and if you're not able to just zone out, it's something that's really hard to do long term. But people don't see that, so they have this idea that, you just do the drawing and the products just magically appear and it's all willy-nilly and amazing and cool and fun. But it's not like that. And I kind of wanted to make this video, I suppose, as a bit of a PSA, because I know myself very well, and I know what I do and I don't enjoy. I know that I am an outlier, that I enjoy paperwork, that I enjoy doing menial labor, because to me, I'm kind of able to just zone out and focus on this one thing. But I understand that for the majority of the population, that sort of stuff sucks, and I get it. So I think people should just kind of be aware that what you see online in terms of art businesses is probably less than 10% of what it's actually like. Now, for me, as you can see, I am sitting in my literal pajamas on the floor. I have a punch needle next to me. I'm getting ready to package some orders as well. So you can kind of see that, like, I don't get to stop. I have to get this sort of stuff done. And there's not really, you know, set breaks. There's no, all right, I'm finished at this time, no more. Now you can schedule yourself and, you know, figure out what you need to do in a day and when and where you can take breaks and when you can finish. But quite often, if you're preparing for an event or you realize that you need to do something, you just have to get up and do it. And that's the sort of nitty-gritty stuff that you just don't see online. So I think as a fair warning that if you are someone who doesn't like menial labor, who likes a really set schedule where you know 5 p.m. is clock off, I am not doing any work after 5 p.m. Or if you just hate sitting there and doing the same task on repeat for multiple hours, that doing a small art business probably isn't for you. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't get into this industry. There are a lot of small art businesses that hire other people, and you could always work for them, and you know, the work is then split and it's not so as intensive as it is for my case where it's just me. There are, of course, other creative industries. You can do things like graphic design, or you can do freelance. I think that people should be more aware of what it's like when you sell products and when you do things like events like I'm planning on doing. Because it isn't all sunshine and lollipops. It is a lot of just sitting on the floor doing menial labor.
Go, Kylie, go.
You're not always going to be sitting on the floor. I am just unlucky enough that this is the only space that I can do certain jobs because my desk is so small. But yeah, just be aware that like doing art and selling things is 90% menial labor and or sitting updating a website or doing like that kind of back of house boring typing on a keyboard stuff. I just want people to be aware because I see it so often spread that art is easy and that having a business is just this really easy thing that anyone can get into and it's this really cool fun thing, and you know your life is going to be great and you're going to have so much free time and you're going to be able to travel and do all of this, and the reality is you can't. I recently lost my job. I am pretty much relying on $400 in savings and commissions. I can't even afford to buy myself a cup of coffee. I am not doing any traveling or anything at the moment. I am hoping that I can scrounge enough money together to pay for my hotel for an event, because that's the other thing. Events cost money. You can't just delve into them if you were starting with $0 in the bank account. This isn't to discourage people, but it is to let people know that there is a lot more that you don't see, and that you should, before delving into something or deciding that it's what you want to do your research and understand what you're actually getting yourself into. I love this job. I am so thankful and I am so privileged that I am able to do art and that I'm able to do events and I'm able to sell things. But it does come with a lot of hard and oftentimes mind-numbing and boring work. And I don't want people getting into this industry because they think it's going to be easy and then realizing, oh my god, I have been sitting here packaging phone charms for 4 hours. What am I doing with my life? But if you're odd like me and you enjoy menial labor and you enjoy paperwork and all of that, then this is probably for you. I love it because I just thrive in those sorts of environments. I like having a couple of hours a day where I can just put music on, zone out, and just do one thing and get stuff done. But it's not for everyone. But let me know, what do you think? Do you think that maybe I'm being too extreme? Maybe my experiences are just because I'm slow or inefficient? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. Don't forget to chuck us a follow, and I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.